Here we go with the Thursday evening version of Weather for Weather Geeks here on November the 5th. 76 degrees for the third straight day today. And much like yesterday, we fell just shy of the record high of 77 this afternoon. It was a beautiful, beautiful day. Now, it's going to be a warm evening. We are ahead of a cold front, which is out here across the Midwest. And clouds will continue to increase. A lot of us won't drop out of the 60s overnight tonight. Let's focus on the rain that we have coming our way. I'm going to show you the radar as I recorded this at about 7:30 p.m. And then, of course, the computer models. A little bit of light rain running well out ahead of our front, pushing mostly north of Cincinnati. I think for the Browns and Bengals this evening, I can't rule out a little bit of rain, particularly in the second half, but most of it will be after the game. So some good news down there. The beefier action is out here to the west. Tornado watches, severe thunderstorm watches from Kansas City down towards Dallas. Even a few tornado warnings this evening in parts of northern Texas. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on the current radar because, of course, a lot of you watching this, afterwards. You can easily see where our cold front is on the temperature map, though. Boy, this is a no-brainer. It is right in through here, and behind it, it's in the 40s, ahead of it, 60s and 70s. Feels more like September. I think tomorrow we can sneak back above 70 degrees, but that probably will be the last time until next spring. All right, let's talk about the near term here. We'll bring up our high-res model, the high-resolution rapid refresh, or HRR, H-R-R-R. Let me queue up the latest version here. Show you the simulated radar in the middle of the night tonight. This is at 3 in the morning, showing some showers approaching, certainly some more substantial rain from Cincinnati on west at 3 a.m. At the more humane hour of 6 a.m., we have some rain around the valley at this point. Most of it will be pretty light. Some of it can be a little bit heavier. So that's the start of the day tomorrow, and then here's 7 a.m. It'll be, probably be raining in most spots. All right, switch over to the NAM model then, and to show you what the midday hours may hold tomorrow. Our actual cold front will push through right around lunchtime tomorrow. Here's 9 in the morning, and then 10 o'clock and 11 o'clock. And as the actual front comes through, there might try to be some thunder mixed in with this. A little skinny line of thunder is a possibility right around 11 o'clock. Notice the NAM model, has this looking more impressive out to the west, and then as it pushes east, it sort of falls apart. And I think that's probably the right idea. I'm not real impressed with the overall dynamics here tomorrow for severe weather. That said, the Storm Prediction Center still has us in the marginal risk, a low-end risk of severe weather, with the threat being an isolated damaging wind gust. But again, I'm not real impressed with it. Could there be thunder? Possibly, yeah. Severe weather, I think that's pushing it a little bit. Independent of any thunderstorms, though, it will be a windy day tomorrow. Check out they bring up the winds just off the surface here, right around lunchtime tomorrow. Sustained 20 miles per hour. There could be some gusts to 30 or 35. Upstairs in the atmosphere, up at 5,000 feet, a screaming, what we call a low-level jet, fast-moving river of air up at about 5,000 feet. At that level, the wind's up to 80, 85 miles per hour. Lots of turbulence on airplanes tomorrow around the region. We will have a hard time tapping into that really high, or that fast-moving river of air, though. So again, our gusts will probably be in the 30 to 35 range. Again, as far as the rain goes, we're probably done by 1 at the latest, maybe even noon in some spots. And then for the rest of the day, we're dry. So here's late afternoon as we get set for some playoff action in parts of Ohio as the high school football playoffs get underway. We have 9 area teams, I believe, playing tomorrow evening. And it will be dry, but it will be chilly. Temperatures by kickoff tomorrow evening. I think these numbers are a little too high. This is at 5 p.m., lower 60s. Then by 7 p.m., mid-50s. That's probably a little more like it. I think temperatures will drop through the 50s in the evening. It's going to feel cooler, though, because of the wind, which won't be as strong as earlier in the day, but it will still be noticeable. That's for sure. All right, as far as rainfall amounts go, here's a look at some of our models. Kind of clustered, generally speaking, somewhere around 1/4 of an inch, and I think that's about right. I think we'll average 1/4. Some places get a little more, some a little less. If you do get an isolated thunderstorm around midday tomorrow, your amounts probably will be somewhat higher. Now, as we take a look at the weekend, I'm just going to briefly go over the weekend because there's not much to say other than it's going to feel like November. Here's Saturday. Notice there's some snow up in the northern Great Lakes. Our old front has stalled through here, and there will be a band of clouds sticking around for at least the first half of Saturday. I think those clouds will go away, thin out at least towards the end of the day. And then on Sunday, as high pressure builds in, should be a pretty good day. It'll be chilly, but it will be dry as high pressure builds in from the west. All right, so that's the weekend. Pretty uneventful, other than the chill. Real quick word about the longer range. Next week, a warming trend for midweek. We'll probably get into the lower 60s. Don't think we'll hit the 70s. A little bit of a minor system here. Monday night, early Tuesday could produce just a bit of rain. That's this thing moving through here Tuesday morning. That pushes away, and then it looks like it'll be pretty nice Tuesday afternoon and for at least part of Wednesday. Now, the GFS here has some showers with the next front approaching already Wednesday afternoon. Some of the other modeling is a little bit slower. Whether it's Wednesday or Thursday, I'm not sure, but at some point, a pretty strong cold front's going to come through with a band of showers. This is next Thursday morning on the GFS. Windy. Notice the isobars are packed pretty close together. And this will be another front that knocks back the temperature some. Doesn't look real cold behind it, but we'll get at least back to average at the end of next week. And it's interesting, the GFS ensemble model here actually showing some signs of some sustained chilly air, at least more than just a day or two, in the longer range. This is the 10 to 15 day outlook, so taking us from the 15th through the 20th. This is showing more cold than the previous runs were showing. We'll see if this was an aberration or if this is a trend we can latch onto. If it is the right trend, then we can expect maybe some chillier weather compared to average for mid-November. Of course, mid-November averages are chilly, but it could be even cooler than the averages. So we'll keep an eye on those trends. This could just be a blip in the overall scheme of things. All right, that is the Thursday night weather for Weather Geeks. Go Browns tonight, and I hope to see you on 21 News at 11 o'clock tonight. If you're up early tomorrow, check in with Jess on WFMJ today, starting at 5 a.m. Have a great night.